Absolutely amazing. Now, me and Jake are friends, so we've got to try and make this as unweird as possible, which is going to be difficult, because before we started this interview, all we did was talk about crisps. Yeah,
it's the mutual love that's kept us strong over the years, I like to think.
Now, let's come on to lockdown. Obviously, you guys, I think it's been since September you haven't played?
Yeah, so we did our last gig in Bristol in September, and then Chris on the bass went travelling around Europe for a few months.
Hands in the air, Chris.
Because we just go, I mean, as many musicians do, you've got to go flat out forever, basically. There's no breaks. So we decided to have a break after years and years, and then we got another break forced on us straight afterwards.
Did you have many festivals booked? Because you are quite a prolific festival band, aren't you?
Yeah, we had a few booked in, less than last year. I think we were kind of taking a conscious decision to not be as flat out as we normally are, but we definitely had some great bookings lined up, a few Shambala bookings and...
the mighty Shambala.
Yeah. Heaps of other ones that
So I've got to tell you something, because like, you were the first band I ever saw in Bristol.
Right.
2 years ago,
cool,
right?
Cool,
now,
cool.
this is actual fact. 2 years ago.
At Father Funk's.
It was at Father Funk's, repping Father Funk. 2 years ago, I moved to Bristol, and obviously working for BBC Music Introducing, you want to embed yourself into whatever music scene. You want to find out what makes people tick. And your name just kept coming up, Binbag.
I'm not surprised, really.
You're not surprised, I know.
No.
Modest.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, right, I'm going to go and see this band. And it was at Father Funk's night, and I think it was at the Attic. No, it wasn't. It was at the
Lanes.
At the Lanes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it is on. It is on. And
it's such a huge rig as well. It's like playing at essentially like a massive DJ night where they've got Tremor Soundsystem there, and then we were the only band of the night.
I think I was sitting there, my partner, Kat from Slamboree, she was like, are you okay? And I was just sitting there going like, it's this band. It's a bit, because I've been, working in the music industry, you always try and find, a band that are passionate about their music, but also that we can be passionate about. And you were that band. And obviously, moving forward, we got the opportunity to play Latitude Festival. I mean, how was that festival playing on the BBC Music Industry? I am very aware that this is not BBC Music Industry.
Latitude was amazing, man. Like, doing the BBC stuff, it just feels like a step up in terms of, everyone's professional that's there, which everyone tries to be. Yeah, it's pretty rare, really, at the level we're at. So, no, it felt great, man. There was a great audience, and yeah, it was a great experience.
And let's talk about the album. So, obviously, you were planning on releasing it, weren't you, just before lockdown?
Basically,
what happened? And how are you going to manage it?
I don't know, man. So, we finished the album. We started recording the album last June, and it was finished at the end of the year. We've been working with an amazing producer called Lemer, who has done phenomenal work. Like, I'm so excited to share it.
Yeah.
It's such a step up from anything we've done before, but we were going to release in springtime, and then when all this started kicking off, it looked less and less likely. And now it's a shame because it's sitting there and you don't know what to do with it. You want it to have as much of a bang as it can when it comes out, but we just do everything ourselves. This, as so many bands are at this level, it's DIY, and we don't know how to do press, and we figure it out as we go along, basically. So just going to wait and see what happens. We released our first single from the album in June. The sequel,
part two. The sequel, part two.
That's
so
right.
Let's talk about that.
That's a song. That's a song I wrote a couple of years ago now, when I was struggling a lot with my mental health, but really with just being open and honest about how I was feeling, and not beating myself up for feeling basically shit, and it was a long journey. It was a real long journey. So, I mean, I'm not out the other end of it, but I manage it a lot better. I feel a lot better in myself, and I guess that's what that song was. It was a ode to the man in the mirror who you can't stand sometimes. And is music therapy? Did that help you through that process? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's why I write, I think. That's why I need to write, I think a lot of musicians are the same, and artists. And obviously in lockdown, a lot of my friends in this industry have really, really struggled with creative spark, because you'd think being trapped in a studio or trapped in a room, you just go, whoa, and you pour it all out, all these things that have been storing up. But it's the exact opposite. And I think both you and I, it was just like, well, let's just play PlayStation. Yeah, I play a shitload of PlayStation. Right, we're going to wrap this up. Obviously, we're friends. I've got one weird question to ask. Please. It has to be weird. We have to finish it this way. Who would win a 100-metre race between Paul McCartney and Mick Jagger? Beat that for weird. I mean, Jagger would. Paul would let him. Why though? Because I think Paul McCartney is quite. I think he's quite streamlined. Legs, what do you think, Jack?
I think Mick Jagger would just snort drugs and dance.
Is it a bit old for that? Isn't that a bit past him? No.
That's how he's still going, man.
That's not my opinion, by the way. That's the opinion of Jack Wisdom. Anyway, if people want to get in touch with the band, wrap that one up. If people want to get in touch with Binbag Wisdom, obviously the album's not out, but the single is out.
It will be out soon.
How can they get in touch with you? How can they find your music?
We're on. You can chat to us on Instagram or Facebook. That's probably the easiest. Or go to our website, binbagwisdom.co.uk. Or we're on Spotify. Our first album, 100 Years of Binbag Wisdom, is on Spotify. The next album will be on there. Crud Life will be out. And we're on YouTube. And the internet, we're there.
Wicked. Well, thank you ever so much for
Thanks
speaking
so much
to me.
for having us.
That was amazing. Back to you, Polly.